Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities in case you missed it for June 2024. Here, we gather up some weird and offbeat stories that mostly happen throughout the current month that you might not have heard about. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. This first story comes to us from West Virginia and it hits hard. The two people you're seeing currently are Jenny K. Whitefeather and Donald Ray Lance. The couple is currently out on bond, which a judge increased from $200,000 to $500,000. By now, you should be asking, what the heck did these people do for a bond to go that high? Well, these people adopted 5 children, ages 6, 9, 11, 14, and 16, and these kids were living in deplorable conditions. A neighbor had called the police for a wellness check as they had concerns about the treatment of the children, and this led to the discovery of the 14 and 16-year-old locked in a shed with no adequate hygiene care, no bathroom, no clean clothes, no food, and no running water. Police had to break down a door to get the teens out of that shed. Not only that, but there were blisters and sores all over the 14-year-old's feet. In the main house, a 9-year-old girl was crying in a 15-foot high loft with nothing protecting her from falling. Jenny and Donald were both out with the 11-year-old, and the 6-year-old was with church acquaintances of the couple. Needless to say, they received quite the surprise when they returned home to cops ready to put them in cuffs. The couple was indicted by a grand jury and were arraigned on 16 counts each, accusing them of civil rights violations, human trafficking, forced labor, gross child neglect, and falsifying an application seeking a public defender. Details on this case are being kept mostly private because it involves minors, but I will be following it and will update you as things unfold. This is Alexander Morris, and he's the lead singer of the Four Tops, which is a Motown group who had such hits as Sugar Pie Honey Bunch, Reach Out, and The Same Old Song. Even if you don't know the group, you'd know the music. Anyway, Alexander here is suing Ascension Macomb Oakland Hospital in Warren, Michigan. Why, you ask? Well, keep listening and find out. Alexander showed up to the hospital showing symptoms of cardiac distress. Alexander told a nurse and a security guard that he was a member of the Four Tops and he had concerns about fans and stalkers. This is where everything goes wrong. Instead of easing his fears and treating him, a doctor ordered a psychological evaluation and had Alexander removed from oxygen and put into restraints. He was in those restraints for over 90 minutes. The hospital refused to listen to him or to let him go so he can seek medical help elsewhere. When Alexander was telling the nurse and doctor who he was and that he was having so much trouble breathing, he was just being ignored. Eventually, Alexander's wife showed up to the hospital and saw what was going on and informed the nurse of who he was. Eventually, the nurse asked Alexander to prove his identity, and he showed her a video of him performing at the Grammys. This led the nurse to informing the doctor, who canceled the psych evaluation and freed him from his restraints to resume his treatment. Well, as it turns out, Alexander has a condition where in the future he is going to need a heart transplant. He's already been known to use defibrillators, and this is a reoccurring thing where he suffers from cardiac distress. This hospital could have killed him with their neglect. But don't worry, they try to make up for it here. As a way of saying sorry, the hospital offered, and I kid you not, a $25 gift card. Alexander refused and brought about a lawsuit claiming racial discrimination, violation of civil rights, negligence, gross negligence, battery, false imprisonment, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and violation of the Americans with Disabilities Act. He's seeking $75,000 in damages at a jury trial, and I hope he's able to receive every single penny of it. So, nothing really special here, well, except for one thing that made me chuckle. This guy is a car thief from Austin, Texas. He was caught driving a stolen vehicle, and his name is Optimus Prime. No joke, that's his legit name. It's Optimus Prime. Only reason I'm sharing this is because it gave me a chuckle, and I guess his parents were fond of Transformers. So, from one interesting name to another, this is a Florida man who told cops his name is Mr. Monopoly and he was born 4/20/69. Sadly, unlike Optimus, Mr. Monopoly and the 4/20/69 date of birth isn't real. This is actually Ryan Howard, and he was arrested and charged with criminal mischief and resisting arrest. Ryan was caught using spray paint on the sound barrier wall along 54th Avenue South in St. Petersburg, Florida. Police were able to find him since he matched the description from witnesses who said they saw him using the spray paint. When asked his name, Ryan told them it was Mr. Monopoly and he was born 4/20/69, being defiant. However, his defiance didn't pay off, and if he didn't make bail, he would have been in a cell with Bubba. Lucky for him, it was only $1,000, and now he's back on the streets awaiting trial. And finally, we're staying in Florida, where a Florida man was arrested after shooting and destroying a Walmart delivery drone. This is Dennis Wynn, and Dennis, like all of us, enjoys his privacy. So when Dennis saw a drone hovering around his home, he did what most of us would want to do. He got his gun and he shot the sucker down. As it would turn out, it was a Walmart delivery drone, and it was being used as part of a campaign to get the community and local businesses interested in drone deliveries. The crew controlling the drone and the representative of Walmart saw Dennis with gun in hand take out the drone, which was on descent. The damage done to the drone was over $2,500 worth, and shortly after, Dennis received a knock on his door from deputies asking if he had a run-in with the drone. Dennis told them he was worried the drone was spying on him, so he took it out. Sadly, Dennis was arrested and charged with shooting at an aircraft, criminal mischief with damages over $1,000, and discharging a firearm on public or residential property. Honestly, I expect more stories of drones being shot down to come in the near future. And you know what? I'm not entirely against that. And that concludes In Case You Missed It for June 2024. Thank you all for watching, and if you have your own offbeat stories, feel free to share it with us in the comment section down below, or share it with us on social media. You can find those links in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and we will be seeing you in July.